Yeah.
And so it's really, and so it's a lesson in environmental sustainability, but it was also a lesson of how brilliant our kupuna was. They were so brilliant, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, they definitely understood that everything worked together,
That's right.
the interconnectedness.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about Hawaiian culture. It's all about the web of life. So it's never about just one thing. It's how everything is connected. And I think in the culture, it's about people, it's about the land, it's about the ocean. And to me, that's the beauty of Hawaii. So when I see things from other places come in trying to exploit the resources that were so carefully managed for hundreds of years, it just is, it's kind of heartbreaking when the state sort of says, oh, okay, that's a good idea, without really looking at it. And, you know,
Well, and this is why it's really important. And, you know, I have to say this again, we're really fortunate to team up with Food and Water Watch.
Yeah.
Because, yes, they're out of Washington, D.C., yes, they're on the continent, but they're very concerned about what is happening here environmentally as well as, you know, for the consumer, you know, in protecting these things. And so for them to come here and to bring their resources, their knowledge, their understanding, you know, to share with us and to enter into the fight with us. Oh, we malama that, and mahalo for coming over. You know, I really appreciate Food and Water Watch.
See, there are haoles with good hearts.
Oh, get plenty, get plenty.
Thank you.
But I think the science is so important because we just seem to be commodifying things without really thinking about the impacts that they're going to have in, you know, future generations.
Right.
So I worry about our oceans. And, you know, I was involved in we were trying to restore a fish pond in Pearl Harbor. And they're still trying to restore that fish pond like 10 years later. It's been really difficult because it's so polluted in there. What do we do when some of the places where we would have fish ponds are so pilau now?
Well, you know, it can be done. It can be done, and it just takes commitment from, you know, the government officials as well as the community itself, you know, to take on these kinds of initiatives to restore all of these places, because the fish ponds were wahipanas. They were sacred places because this is what provided the source for people to live. And when we treat these areas as wahipanas, it will come back. But, you know, again, it is all from Mauka to Makai that relationship has got to be established. And, you know, the reason why I really like the Food and Water Watch was because we collaborated, you know, on an issue where, in regards to Kona Blue Ocean Farms, in the sense that, you know, we went to Monterey Bay Aquarium. And we went to Monterey Bay, and Food and Water Watch invited me to go along with them so that we could present a letter to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, because they had Kona Kampachi, which was grown by Kona Blue Water Fish Farms.
It's listed on the card as U.S. farmed yellowtail.
Yeah, and yellowtail. And so what they did was that they put them as a best alternative on Monterey Bay Aquarium's list of fish, of seafood that people should buy.
Oh, these are the things that are in the supermarket
Yeah,
saying...
they're little cards. They said they were a good alternative, so they have
No,
best,
this
good, and
is
yellow,
across a continent that supermarkets, restaurants, and so forth, they use Monterey Bay's recommendations. So they have on their card recommended a Kona Kampachi. And so we delivered a letter from the Kanaka Council with several other Hawaiian groups and organizations objecting and asking them to take them off the list because of the cultural impact that was made. And so when we delivered the letter, and with Zach Corrigan, who was an attorney for Food and Water Watch, it flew out of Washington, D.C., and Sam and some of those guys. How's it, bro? You know, we went, you know, and delivered the letter. And Monterey Bay Aquarium said they didn't, you know, they stand corrected because they had never taken into consideration the cultural impacts of when they put these foods on the list.
Wow.
And that they were scientists, so they never looked at the cultural side. But they will now, because we raised that level of consciousness, that they need to start to include the cultural impacts as part of putting the foods on this list, and whether it's negative or positive. So it was a good collaboration with the
That's
Food and Water Watch.
fabulous, and it shows how people coming together can actually make a difference.